Here we have the brand new ASUS ZenBook Flip S, and with the model name UX371. This laptop here is announced in conjunction with the 11th Gen Intel Core processors, and this laptop here is thin, light, beautiful, and yet powerful. So let's get into it. So let's start off with the design of the brand new ZenBook Flip S UX371, and this is a convertible laptop, so that means you can use it in a standard laptop format like this, or flip the entire screen around, use it as a tablet or anything in between. To be able to use in a tablet mode, you need it to be thin and light as well, which is why for a fully metal build like this, it is very thin at about 13.9 millimeters. And only weighing in at 1.2 kilograms. And specifically, the one that we have here is in this jade black finish. I'm not too sure why they're calling it jade black. It's technically just a very dark blue hue on the entire lid here, and with this kind of copper finish accents all around, including the ASUS logo itself. They're calling this the red copper, I think, but I don't see any part of it is red, it's just basic copper. And the reason why I'm wearing this shirt is because it's very similar in terms of colors, except for that copper accents. By looking at the lid here, the ASUS ZenBook Flip S UX371 also has that usual ZenBook design with the concentric circles rippling out from the ASUS logo here. But this time around, I did realize that the concentric circles are very finely cut to the point where I can't feel it with my fingertips, at least not that much compared to its previous generations. And I also realized that this new design here, I would call it a brand new design, is a fingerprint magnet. As you can see here, if you have slightly greasy fingers, then the whatever marks here will just get stuck in it, and it's just impossible for me to clean, even though I tried to wipe it down using this piece of microfiber cloth here. Yep, I don't know how to maintain this. Now, for the screen on the ZenBook Flip S UX371, I was caught off guard because this is a 13.3-inch screen, 4K in resolution, and it is also an AMOLED screen, AMOLED touchscreen actually. I did not realize this at first because when I look at it, the colors are definitely not as vivid as any other AMOLED screens that I've tried previously, like the Gigabyte Aero 15 OLED XB, which you can check it out at the top right corner there if you want to know more about that laptop. This one, the colors are not as any other usual AMOLED screens, not as vivid or saturated. And the brightness is what caught me off guard. It's really bright, but I didn't realize, or it didn't strike me as an OLED panel until I was told that this is actually an OLED panel. And most importantly here is that the color calibration that ASUS has done for this laptop screen is amazing. They claim to have 100% DCI-P3, but my eye is not a color calibrator, so I couldn't tell. But from what I can see here is that the colors look very natural with any other IPS LCD screen. So amazing. This screen here is also Pantone validated, and it also is certified for VESA Display HDR 500. Yes, it also has HDR support. And the thing that I want to highlight here is that for a 4K resolution on an ultrabook, it's really not easy to power it up. And that is where the brand new Intel 11th Gen Tiger Lake CPU, I shouldn't call it CPU, it's more like an SoC now because it's both CPU and GPU in the same chip. And this laptop here is powered by the brand new Intel Core i7-1165G7 with the brand new Intel Iris Xe integrated graphics, and it can do a lot of things actually. Throughout my use case, the ZenBook Flip S never once showed any signs of slowdowns, and the fans can be dead silent as well, but that is only when I use the silent power profile. If you want to tune it to the maximum power profile, you have to plug in the power as suggested by the software utility made by ASUS. And I did quite a lot of things. I also tried a lot of games, and I also tried to edit video using this laptop. Surprisingly, you can, because the Intel Iris Xe is just extremely powerful to the point where it just again caught me off guard because when I edited videos, more like I need to compare this with my previous experience on the AMD Ryzen 7 4700U on the ASUS VivoBook S14 M433. That laptop is powerful with its iGPU, but the issue with that AMD chip is, of course, the amount of VRAM, because in Ryzen 4000 series of SoCs, it's locked down to 512 megabytes of VRAM only, which means if you want to do something more graphically intensive or just deal with some higher texture packs in games, then that 512 megabytes of VRAM will get choked very easily. But for the Iris Xe graphics, how it operates is that this laptop has 16 gigs of system RAM. So the Iris Xe, I'm not too sure about this by the way. It seems to me is that the Iris Xe will take half of the system memory as shared memory. It's dynamically allocated and it wouldn't just straight up reserve half of that system RAM as VRAM. But it's still very interesting to see how things go by, because with technically 8 GB of VRAM, I can do a lot of things here. Editing videos from our Sony camera there is no issue. Playback is extremely smooth, and I'm really surprised actually. But if you want to know more about the gaming experience on this specific laptop here, do click at the top right corner there, because we have also another video where we talk in depth about the Tiger Lake 1165 G7 alongside with its power profiles, gaming profiles, cooling and whatnot. So other than that, let's talk about the other aspects about this laptop. Firstly, the touchscreen, of course, it works as expected. It went to sleep, but yeah, there you go. Touchscreen works. The touchpad has been grown horizontally, so it's more like an ultra wide right now, like my 21:9 monitor at home. And the trackpad works fine. It also has that number pad feature if you want to type in some numbers. It kind of works a lot better now because of that extra width. And the keyboard, this is something that I want to highlight because the keyboard feels amazing to type on, but it did take me quite a few days to get used to this keycap design because it's slightly shorter vertically, but other than that, the key is amazing. When you type on it, the springiness is amazing, tactility is also great, and the best part is that despite having such a thin body, it still has a pretty long travel distance, so excellent work on the keyboard. And before I forget, this laptop also has that signature ergo lift design, which in this case doesn't lift that laptop that much when the lid is open, but it still provides a little bit of angle. But I do have a few complaints here. For example, the power button, it feels very mushy and it is placed on the right side here alongside with that USB Type A port. This is 5 gigabits per second only. And then my second complaint here is that on the right side, we have a full-size HDMI port, double Thunderbolt 4 ports, yes, the brand new shiny Thunderbolt 4 port, which is only available on Tiger Lake devices right now. And that's it, that's all the ports you get. No audio jack, and I feel like a broken record right now, but ASUS, please move one of your Thunderbolt ports from the left side to the right side so I can plug in either side to charge. I've been repeating this for many of your laptops, but yeah, I just feel like a broken record. And as for the battery life, the ASUS ZenBook Flip S UX371 can last for about 7 hours, which is kind of good because considering the fact that this is a 4K OLED panel and also with a pretty powerful chip inside, this battery life, I would say it's pretty much comparable with its previous generations of laptops, but yeah, that 67 watt-hour battery can provide quite a long battery life. And one more thing I want to highlight about this laptop here is of course the speakers, because it is tuned by Harman Kardon, which is just like any other ASUS laptops, but for such a thin and light laptop, it sounds surprisingly good. So if you're looking for a premium thin and light yet powerful laptop, do consider the brand new ZenBook Flip S UX371. Not too sure about the availability date or the specific configuration of RAM or whatever specs for the Malaysian versions, but do hold on to your wallets as of now, because the jump from 10th gen to 11th gen is just drastic. That's all I can say, it's drastic. So yeah, I'll leave all of the information down in the description below whenever I have it. And thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you have a nice day, and please stay safe because I don't want the virus to break out again. So yeah.